Hello guys, Mike from Retendo Arcade here, and today we're doing another game reflection video. Today we'll be covering Final Fantasy VII. Let's get into it. So, on the time Final Fantasy VII was coming out back in 1997, I believe it was late spring, maybe almost summer. I went to KB Toy Stores and I put $5 down, which is the minimum to keep a copy hold back for myself. And later I changed from Hardee's fast food chain to Little Caesars Pizzas, making the pizzas. After a while, I got put the phones, and it's about around the same time that that happened. They introduced the $2.99 medium pizzas with pepperoni and cheese as the only toppings, and that was a promo $2.99. So I didn't know at the time that they're going to share the profits of that to whoever can get the most people to choose that as opposed to like ordering whatever else was on the menu. Long story short, I outsold everybody. I got a profits. And I was like, okay, cool. Got a big paycheck. Well, I was like 17 years old. Uh, so I went to the KB Toy Store. I was going to pay off my pre-order. And the girl said, do you have a PlayStation? I said, what's the PlayStation? Because I had known about Sony and Nintendo trying to do their thing. But I think more or less because of Nintendo wanted to be in control of everything, Sony kind of backed out. And now we'll go on our own and that led to the PlayStation console being made. That's why we have PlayStation today. I guess thanks Nintendo. Nintendo went with Philips, but that's for another video. So I said, okay, let me get the PlayStation, and I picked up what was it? Bushido Blade. It's a fighting game with samurai, and you have to use the code of honor and Bushido, the way of the warrior, to defeat your enemies. You couldn't just sidestep them and slash them. You had to fight them front on. You had to find a way to parry the attacks, and it was pretty cool. But the most important thing is, it had a demo, an hour-long demo for Final Fantasy VII. Those two games, well, the demo and the game, I played them like tirelessly. Then in September, mid-September 1997, a couple weeks from my birthday, I went and picked up my copy of Final Fantasy VII. I had taken off work. I didn't go to school that day. I was ready, and I committed my whole time to it, and it was fantastic. I didn't really have any complaints back then. I don't really have any complaints today. But back then, I think I was caught up in the spectacle, like new Final Fantasy, new console, better graphics, going from like 16-bit to 32-bit and more colors and better music because it's CD audio. And I really, really, really liked it. I like the story, like the characters. But going forward, over the years, I just something to say, okay, I still like Final Fantasy VII. I'll never stop liking Final Fantasy VII. But I'd say, okay, Cloud's a little emo. Sephiroth's a big mother's boy. There's nothing wrong. I was a mother's boy. And there's other things, but in the long run, it's a great game. It deserves, to be called a great Final Fantasy. It's probably my third favorite Final Fantasy. 6 is gonna be always my favorite. I'm sorry, but Kafka, he won me over. And he destroyed the world. And we had to avenge it. It's the Returners, but yeah. But I think some of my favorite villains, well, even Sephiroth. Sephiroth's cool, but I like Reno and Rude. Yeah, like a lot of personality, and they're kind of funny at times. And I guess that gets elaborated more in the Advent Children anime, which was great. Love animated movie. I love it. Well, actually, more FMV or CGI movie, but regardless, it's fantastic. And I do want to play Dirge of Cerberus. I want to play the Reunion remake. I need to play those because I'm a Final Fantasy guy. So I guess the main difference is the day I appreciate it more and I can relate on some levels more with the issues that Cloud had and the memory, and not so much the memory, but like self identity and kind to come to terms of who you really are as opposed to who you think you are or you believe you are. And I think it's a fine line, because growing up, it's all up in the air, and you're just trying to piece it together and figure it out. And I I I, I think that a lot of people can relate to that. Not just myself, but on a personal level, I liked it. I liked the the turmoils, and they made it external, like the sequence you've seen on the screen now. But I like that. I like. That's why I like a lot of good epic fantasy or sci-fi or something like that. That deals with character treatments, and the worst villain a character can face would be him or herself. Self doubt, um, you know, lack of motivation, dealing with identity issues, or other such traumatic things that can just destroy you at your core. And sure, the big bad's gonna try to wipe out the universe, all life in the universe, or trying to like destroy the planet or what have you. Yeah, that's cool. It can be done in different ways. But inner turmoil, like struggling with your personal demons, I think that is like universal, and that is something that will always be true. And I think that's why I like Final Fantasy 7 more now than I did back then. Or maybe not even so much more now than back then. Instead, perhaps it'll be I can understand what the devs were going for back then more, now than relative to how I felt about then. Back then, it was just like, oh, another video game, another Final Fantasy, yeah, ooh, yeah. I still feel that way. I get excited for new Final Fantasy, and I hope like hell it's good. Looking at 213, and then the Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I thought that was awesome. That was hugely improvement graphically, and in a lot of ways, I like the more actiony combat. It kind of feels like what Final Fantasy 13 could have been if they put a little more work into it. And I'm curious to see where they go in the story, because I feel like that's changing, and I'm thinking that maybe Aerith won't really die. Maybe it's Tifa. They did show, Tifa falling, and I think that was talking back to when she was actually slashed by Sephiroth at the Nibelheim reactor. But we will see. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, favorite, share, subscribe. Most importantly, stay well and be good to each other. Good vibes. Peace out.